Hi, it's time once again to take a look at what I colored for the month of August 2018. And the first thing I want to show you are some new books I got this month. This is The Witcher. I think this story is based on a series of video games. All inspired by the hit video game franchise. I got it because I love the illustrations. I had seen many colorings from it on Instagram, and I thought, well, I've got to have this book. So I went to Amazon and checked the prices of third-party sellers, because it is pricey otherwise. So I found a good deal, and it came in very good condition. First one I did was this very, very busy page. Took 3 or 4 evenings to complete. I used watercolors, markers, pencils. I started with the floor and used marker to get a better idea of what I was looking at. And after I got all the background finished, then I worked on the individual characters. The second book I got was Star Trek: The Next Generation. And Aaron's Facebook group, A Simple Art for Adults, had a coloring challenge for the month, and I was the 3rd place winner. The winners were chosen at random, but my winning was a $10 gift certificate to Amazon, and this is what I got. There's a flip through of this also on my channel. This one I did with watercolors for the background, metallic markers, gel pens, Sharpies, and pencils. And this one, I think this came out all right. What I did to make her look like a hologram, I colored her in metallic silver and then colored over it. Next one I got was a PDF, Flowers and Flyers by C.L. Aldrich. Patterns and mandalas aren't usually my cup of tea, but I found the designs in this one symmetrical and very fun to use water-based mediums in. And this one I did with watercolors and gel pens. Last month, Anne from A Colorful Life had a color along featuring this artist's work, and I had downloaded a couple of images from that book and then decided to purchase the entire book on PDF and then just download them as I feel like coloring them. Also on Instagram there was a color along with a hashtag throwback books, meaning to color a page out of a book you hadn't colored in for a really long time. And this was one of them, Nature Mandalas by Thania McArdle. This one. This was also a coloring challenge at Simple Art for Adults, and the challenge was to color a page in just the rainbow colors, but you can include black and white. And on this one, I used Faber-Castell Echo pencils. And this one, this was one of the first adult coloring books I got when I started getting into coloring as a serious hobby. And I'd originally colored the entire 25 set. And of course in Finex books you get double copies. So what I did was I colored this one. Now this right here is the original one. And this is the one I colored this time. And as you can see, I did this mosaic design around the rim here. I got that idea from Coloring with Elena. And on the pedestal, I used the same color scheme. And I used watercolors, Sharpies, metallic markers, pencils, and gel pens. This one was a free download from Color by Culture, aka Diane Murray. She has a coloring book coming out in September featuring fashion designs from Africa. And I colored this one using markers. For her skin, I used an Artist's Loft skin tone. And the hair I did using, I think it was, I want to say Pelican pencils. And I used Sharpies. And this is a thinner paper I had sitting around, and it didn't take watercolor very well. I noticed. It's not cardstock, but it has more of the thickness of, I don't know. It didn't seem to work as well for watercolors. But I think it worked pretty well for what I tried to accomplish here. Now this one was from Jade Summer's Greatest Hits. And this is a page from Edgar Allan Poe, from the story The Black Cat. And this was also done for a couple of challenges. One was to color something using your non-dominant hand, so I did this one entirely with my left hand. The hardest part was the watercolors for the brick wall, or the concrete wall. Markers and gel pens were the easiest to control for me. And the cat was done with pencil and gray marker as a base. And her skin was done with the with Crazy Art pencil, the lilac color. And it was also done for a color along called Pawgust, hosted by Dollar Diva. There was a month-long color-along featuring work put out by Dover and Creative Haven on Anne's channel and Facebook group, Color for Life, co-hosted by Grace's Coloring Corner. And I did one in Steampunk by Marnie Noble. I did 2 in Fantasy Fashions by Mingju Sun. Zoe Archer also had a month-long, color-long Fairies in August. And I did one in this one, Fairies to Paint Color by Darcy May. Another fairy one from Selena Finneck from Fairy Companions. Did one in Enchanted Fairies. I'm not happy with the way the background came out. I think I went overboard with the neon colors. I did one in Pablo Picasso, rendered by Christopher Evans. This one was done exclusively with the watercolor paints found in the Art 101 kit. And they dry chalky, but the color put out is fantastic. I was impressed. Got the whole kit for $5 at Five Below. And that's the original. I did one in Norse mythology from Jade Summer. Now, I don't normally use watercolor on Create Space paper, but I've seen May Brox do it and doing a fantastic job. I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. The background and the floor was all done in watercolors and then colored over with pencil. I did one in the Red Queen. Actually, I did 2. This was the second one. The gods rule us still. They have come down from the stars and they are no longer kind. That's a quote from the book. And this one I did with watercolors and markers and pencil and some gel pen. This one was a download from Victorian House, illustrated by Daniel Lewis. I printed this off from a Dover coloring group on Facebook. And I did it as part of Tasia Color's Color Along for homes and towns. And finally, I did one from A Court of Thorns and Roses. I used watercolors, markers, pencils, gel pen, and these stones going around the border. I got the idea for that color scheme from Color with Claire. And that's it. That's all I colored for the month of August. Thanks for watching.